What's up, guys? Welcome back to the next video on learning Python. My name is QDS Danny, and you guys watching my channel Coraiwood. Alright, so in this, as I said to you guys in the previous video, we're gonna work with the patterns, and that's gonna be with the nested for loop. So it's gonna be nested for loop, just like the way we created multiplication table, but this is a little bit complicated than multiplication table, but I'm going to show you guys how. We're gonna put a pattern like we put a star, or you guys can put anything that if you guys want, like a pyramid, or you guys want to say anything, any pattern you guys like. Alright, so we begin with our nested for loop. If you guys wondering how I'm creating this one, so if you come here and go on new, and you go here on Python file, you guys can create this one if you guys running PyCharm. But if you guys running any other programming language, IDE, you guys can do so by creating another file, or if you guys can use whichever file you IDE you want, you guys can you know how to create another file. Okay, so now we're gonna put here or put our number, our numbers, our we put a our num's gonna be, we put an input, and our input we're gonna put a enter the number of rows. So we put a enter the number of rows, whatever you guys want. So how many rows you guys want, but keep in mind, because this is input, we need, you guys needs to put a in. So we put an int, because the number of rows, it requires the number which is int. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna put a for I in range. Okay, so what I'm for I in range, and I'm gonna put a num. That's I want to loop on that ones. Enter the number whatever the user is gonna put rows. I'm gonna run loop on that one. And for j in range. So what's the for j in range now? Whichever user is gonna put a number, I'm gonna start it with 1, and I'm gonna put I plus 2. And now I'm gonna put a 2, and I'm gonna just like a step of 2, and I'm gonna print, and my print's gonna be star, because I wanna, that's my print. And it's gonna be end is gonna be nothing here. That's gonna be the space. Alright, so we're gonna try this, and we're gonna see how we're gonna go and nested for loop. But we have to come here and we put a run, and we're gonna come here nested for loop. Okay, now we're gonna see the number of rows. Say if I want to put 3, now the number of rows, the 3 is going to come like this. Alright, so but now this is one straight line, and yeah, we're going to tell me that we were looking for something else. So we're going to try to come and fix this one. We're going to say 4, and now how about if I can put another print, for example. If I can put another print, I think it's gonna, that's gonna be print for space. And if you put a number of rows and put a 3, and if you guys look in here, our problem is solved. We have printed our pattern. So how about if you guys gonna come here and put a, say the number of rows gonna be, say for example 10, okay, instead of 3. And if you guys look in here, our number of rows has Python is going from 1, 2, it's going to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and the last one's going to be 10, because every time you guys iterate, it runs through the loop, and it's going to print this pattern here. So whichever the user is going to put, you guys going to put here for I, the first ones, it's going to be whatever the user is going to put here, and that's going to be 10. So if you guys going to count, it's going to be 10, and that's how the Python is going to use this one. It's going to be 9, 8, whatever the number till it goes all the way to 1, because here we are putting this one, we are starting from 1, and we're putting I plus 2. So it's going to be 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 plus 1 is 6. That's how it goes. So that's how the pattern is. And if you just very simple basic pattern. So how about if we gonna copy this one and we print it twice, for example, what's going to happen? Because we all computer programmers and we like to do our experiment. What's going to happen if we run this twice, the whole process? So if you guys going to come here and we're going to put 10, for example, and if you look in here, we are doing it twice. So we are making a nice pattern. If you look in here, we are going to put a nice pattern. Alright, so how about instead of this pattern, you guys want to put a, say, for example, if now you're going to tell me that I want the number, for example. Alright, so we can do that as well. We're going to come here and we're going to put it here instead of this one. You guys can come here, for example, num x, for example, and we initialize that x to from 0 or 1. Okay, so now instead of printing the star, we printing the x. So we're printing the x, and underneath you guys gonna put a x equal to x plus 1, because we got one increment 1 on top, and we're gonna run our for loop, and we're gonna see number of rows. Say I want to put a 10, and if you look in my numbers, gonna come all the way to 10. Very easy. I'll repeat that again if you guys want this pattern. So here you guys need to put something to initialize it, and you guys running for loop in range, and you guys going to iterate this one whatever the user is going to put. If you guys want, you guys can put anything you guys like instead of waiting for the user. So here you guys going to put from 1 and I whatever the user is going to put, you guys put a 2 on top. Say like this one, 7, 8, 9, 10. It comes in like that. And you can put a print x, so you guys printing x, this one, and that's just for the space, and you guys incrementing 1. Alright, so now we're gonna show you guys the last one, how you guys gonna bring your stars in here like a pyramid, and we're gonna show you guys that's a little bit complicated, and we're gonna put whatever here. So we gonna copy the entire this one here, and we're going to put it on top. So we're going to put everything inside the comment, so that's for our record. And for this one, we're going to remove this one, and here we put a star here because that was our star ones, and we're going to remove this one, and we can print our leave our prints there. That was for our star. So now if you run, so number of rows, we're going to come here and we put say 5, and now it's 5 is printing, and number of rows we're going to put 5, and the 5 starts printing. Alright, so now we're going to put both of them in comments. So we're going to work on another one, and we're going to move our comments from here all the way to here. Alright, so now we're going to work on the another star, and we're going to copy this one, and we're going to bring it down. So we enter the number of rows, and I and J, the J guys we're going to put it from 0, and where it says that I, we're going to come and instead of plus, we're going to do minus now. So how we're going to minus, we're going to put a num. It's going to be the minus I, and it's going to be the minus 1. So this num is going to be the minus this guy here and the minus 1. And when it says print, we are not going to print anything. We're going to leave that empty. Now we're going to come here and we're going to have another for loop, and our for loop is going to be for x in range. Okay, so for x in range, and what's our range? Our range is going to start from 0, and then what's going to happen? We're going to put a 2 multiply I plus 1. It's a little bit complicated, but you guys gonna get the hang of it. So we're gonna come here and we put a print. Our prints, we're gonna put into star, for example, and we put an end, and just for a space. All right, so now this is a little bit complicated than the above two, because here we have 3. We have a nested for loop 3 here. So we have a I, J, and X. You guys can put a K as well, doesn't matter. You guys can put anything as long as you guys remember what's your how many loops you guys running. So when we're gonna run, so you guys want to say the number of rows, we want 10, and you guys are gonna see it's a beautiful pyramid here. And now you guys are gonna see the power and beauty of Python. How easy is that? How easily you guys can make your pattern. And if you look in here, how easily you guys making your pattern pyramid with a star, with a number. And keep in mind, if you guys want to put a number, just put some sort of variable here. Here, initialize it on top of this for loop, initialize it to 1, and instead of here, you just put this one, and underneath you guys can put your number, and that's how you guys gonna initialize this one, and you guys gonna make a pyramid of the number. So that's a video about the Python with patterns. You guys can do it with the nested for loop. In the previous videos, you guys seen that the nested for loop, we have created our table, multiplication table, and this one you guys seen this one that we have created our pattern with the number in the star. And now you guys seen this one with just a few lines of code. You guys can create a pyramid, beautiful pyramid with this, with just a few lines, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, with the 8 lines of code. Now the first one is that we're going to ask the user. The second one is going to be just a normal nested for loop, but in this one, instead of we initialize it with 0, and we put a num minus this guy here minus 1. So num minus I minus this one is like a letter, and we're going to print nothing. That's going to be around this one. There's going to be spaces here. And now we're going to have another variable, another for loop for x in range. This is the guy here, and it's going to be 0. We initialize it from 0, and 2 multiply I multiply this guy plus 1 incrementation. And that's the Pythons we're going to give this guy here. You guys can put anything else. You don't have to put a star. You guys can put a for example, you guys can put exclamation mark. Anything you guys gonna put it is gonna print that one. And put a number of rows. Say if you guys want 15 exclamation marks. You don't have to put that number. You look like a airplane. You look like that one. You see that? So any number you guys gonna put is gonna print that one. So that's how it is. Very easy, very easy. So I'm going to change it to star. I like to put a star. And this guy here, this guy is going to print, and this guy is going to do the rest of the magic underneath. So that's how you guys going to make a tower of you. That's how you guys going to make anything you guys like inside the Python. And now you've seen that the Python is awesome. The Python is beautiful, and you guys can make awesome patterns with Python. Alright guys, please don't forget to subscribe our channel. That means a lot to us. If you have any question or comment, leave in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.